Now, it doesn't really matter which game I play, there's always one thing I really enjoy doing, and that's collecting rare and unique stuff in any game. In fact, in my all-time favorite game, Skyrim, I was just hoarding unique and rare items in my house. That was all I was going for, and I kind of do the same thing in most racing games. In fact, in Forza Horizon 4, there are some rare cars. You know, there are some pre-order cars, wheel spin only cars, but I think by now, most of us have most of those cars, so they're not that rare anymore. But if you spend some time on the auction house and you get either really lucky or you are really determined, one of the two, you can find two rare and special Sennas. Now, the only awkward thing here is they look exactly the same as a normal Senna. There's no visual difference, sadly. However, the performance difference of those cars makes it worth looking for them. But then how do I know which one is a rare Senna and which one is just a normal Senna you can buy at the car show? Well, there is one key thing you need to look out for when you look at your Sennas, and that's the performance index if all cars are stock. So the normal Senna starts at 977. The Senna AE, the Autumn edition of the Senna, starts at 975. And the Senna SE, the Summer edition, starts at a whopping 981. So why is the PI number different? Well, there are some hidden values in the game, for example, hidden grip values or aerodynamic values that change the performance of a car. At least that's how it was in Forza Horizon 3 in the dev build. We can actually look at the numbers right here. I'm gonna try and make it split screen right now. The difference is big, and keep in mind, those cars are stock right now. The gap only grows if you fully upgrade them, which we're gonna do later on. But yeah, let's look at the stats real quick. The difference right there is the same difference between a Ferrari 488 GTB and a LaFerrari. There's one more key difference between the normal Senna you can just buy and the secret Sennas, and that's in terms of upgrades. If we look at our normal Senna right now, we've only got two options in terms of tires. That's the stock tire compound, the race tire compound, or we can opt for the off-road tire. So we've only got two options in terms of tires. But if we take a closer look at the Senna SE, the summer edition of the Senna, if we take a closer look at the tire compounds, this is where it gets a bit interesting, because we've also got the stock tire compound, the race tire, the normal one. We've also got the Horizon Edition race tire, which is oddly enough worse than the normal race tire. Usually those are the exact same, but for some reason the stock tire is better than the race tire compound, which is probably the reason why this car is so fast through corners if you stick to the stock race tire compound. You can also opt for the off-road tire, same as the normal Senna, but that's the key difference. You can also go for drag tires. I think that's a really neat feature. Okay, so while we are on our way to the first race, where I'm gonna test a fully maxed out normal Senna against a fully maxed out Senna SE, let's quickly talk about where those cars actually come from. Remember when you started up Forza Horizon 4 for the very first time, or you played through the demo of Forza Horizon 4 for the very first time? There were two occasions where you could drive a Senna. The first one was a race during the autumn season, and the second one a race during the summer season of Forza Horizon 4. And those exact two cars, the cars from those two events, are the ones you can get at the auction house if you are lucky enough, which I think is kind of funny, and for some reason their values are extremely buffed, so it kind of makes them worth collecting as well, at least if you like me and love collecting rare stuff in games. Okay, I'm gonna try and get a decent hot lap in. It might not be the perfect lap, you know, while I'm commentating over it live, but it still should show the difference between a normal Senna and the Senna SE, because yeah, the cornering grip is just, I mean, the Senna is not a bad handling car to start with, but you do notice a significant difference, especially when braking for a corner or driving through a corner. The speed you can take is just insane. Like, it's up there with the Moser and the MC12. I'd say it's even better through corners than some of the pre-order cars like the McLaren 720S. Yeah, it's so fast through those like high-speed corners. It's really impressive. I'm just gonna focus right now. But unfortunately, if you are on a straight, like a long straight, it kind of loses on the normal Senna. It's just not that fast in a straight line. I don't know what it is. It might be some of those hidden, you know, drag and aerodynamic values, but on a straight, it's not as fast as the normal Senna. So if you're going for a high-speed only track, you might lose a couple tenths on a normal Senna, but through corners and braking zones, it's just unbeatable. Well, quick edit before we jump into our first proper drag race. Let's just simply do a 0 to 100 test with the 3 different Sennas, because I get the feeling we're already gonna see a bit of a difference, even with a very simple test like that one. Okay, so now it's time for some proper drag racing. We're gonna see how big the difference is, but while we are on our way to the drag strip, I wanna share a little bit of a story with you guys, because I think it's kind of funny. I've got a very good buddy of mine, a very good friend of mine who loves to drag race in Forza Horizon 4, and he's actually pretty decent. Like, he loves to build and tune proper drag cars in Forza Horizon 4, and he's way better than I am. So I challenged him to a simple drag race, a simple 1v1 drag race using nothing but Sennas. And he was like, okay, sure, let's do it. And we jumped into the race, and I beat him over and over again. And he had no idea what was going on because, you know, he didn't know that car even existed. Now, you could say it's kind of cheating, but then again, if you spend that much time trying to get a single car in a game, I think it's fair enough to mess with your friends a little bit. And I told him afterwards that those cars existed, and he went on a hunt to snipe the Senna SE. And I think a couple days ago, he actually managed to snipe the Senna AE from the auction house. So he is on a hunt for the SE as well. Now, keep in mind that the Senna SE is still rear-wheel drive, so it's not an all-wheel drive drag tune, so we still have to be a bit cautious on the launch, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. A little bit of red line there, but I think that was pretty decent. Come on, Senna, come on. Can we get in the low 8s? Ooh, 8.4. That's decent, that's decent. That's decent for a Senna. Let's give this one more shot in our all-wheel drive Senna. Again, the launch is pretty impressive. It's actually pretty fun to drive that car. Oh, that is satisfying. No wheel spin at all. Come on, Senna. Come on. Give me a low 8-second run. Ooh, 8.2. That's not too bad. 8.225. That's actually a new personal record. Again, it's not an unbeatable drag monster, but that 8.225 might be the fastest quarter mile time of any Senna in Forza Horizon 4. I spent a lot of time on that tune. I'm gonna show it right here. You guys can try it out as well if you have the Senna SE. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed that video, because frankly, I don't know how many people knew about those cars already. I honestly don't know, but if it helps just a couple hundred or a couple thousand people to, you know, grow their car collection in Forza Horizon 4 or find something new they can try and find in Forza Horizon 4, I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, if you found it new, if you found it interesting, make sure to drop a like on it. That's always very much appreciated. Subscribe for more Forza Horizon 4 in the future. And until next time, bye.